Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Integrity Matters by Turnitin. My name is Chooks, and I'm the host for today's interview. We're going to be looking at fostering a culture of academic integrity in higher education. And with me in the house today is Professor Anil from AICTE in India. Professor Anil, can we meet you? Tell us a bit about yourself, your research background, and your role as chairman AICTE.
I am Anil Sahasrabudhe, currently holding the post of Chairman of India Council for Technical Education, military body in technical education, which was formed by an Act of Parliament in 1987. But my own journey has been, my master's and PhD is from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and subsequently I worked for up to 2 decades in the northeast of India, 2 institutions which were just about to start. Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology and IIT Guwahati, which was the 6th IIT from India which was started. Today we have 23, but it was the 6th one in the series. And subsequently I went on deputation to one of the oldest colleges in India, College of Engineering, Pune, as director, and had 2 terms, 9 years served there. And I'm back to the administrative work here in AICTE as the chairman, regulating the technical education in India.
Excellent. So we're looking at how we can start to foster or continue fostering a culture of academic integrity in higher education. And in this case, we're going to be looking at the Indian context. And so we're going to be learning from your experience. So first of all, to kick us off, how do you describe academic integrity or even define academic integrity, especially in the context of the Indian education system?
Academic integrity cannot be different in different countries. When you're asked in the context of India, academic integrity is across the globe has to be same. Whether it is dealing with students, whether it is in terms of research, whether it is in terms of our evaluation of students, the academic integrity cuts across all these domains. Because in academics, it is all associated with our universities and colleges. Naturally, the 2 key elements for associated are students and faculty members. And faculty members are the key members who have to invigorate the entire system in terms of academic integrity or honesty. And what they need to do is in their dealings with students. Our curriculum, suppose you are to cover a certain topic on a particular day, do we do it on time? Do we come on time to the class? But you expect students to come on time, but why not faculty members? That starts from there. Honesty and integrity starts from our classrooms. And then in the class, there are people who have some doubts. All students are not alike. Some of them will catch up very fast. Some of them will have some difficulty. So you should be not partial and only support those students who learn faster, but you have to have such an empathetic view that you have to take care of everyone in the class. But of course, it's a challenge for a faculty member, because someone who understands quickly will feel boring when it is being repeated. But we have to have a balance between the brighter students and the weaker students. So that is also part of an academic integrity. Then in your question papers, whatever you are asking, it should be of the same level as what you are expecting out of them. And not too easy, not too difficult ones, where students, none of them will be in a position to answer and they feel that they are weak or they are not good. That kind of psychological feeling is also not to be coming in the minds of the students. So this is also an academic integrity. Then copying in the examination, which many times we observe students look at others' paper and try to write. I think, and that is where a teacher has to be strict and say that this is evaluation of an individual. Whereas there are also evaluations which are based on team. Maybe the project work, maybe some group activity which is given, and that is where you have to work together in a team. So how do you evaluate students working in teams? Which part of the component of the project has been done by whom? And there also, when giving your grades and marks, one has to be above board. You have to be neutral in terms of that. This is also a part of the academic integrity. Then afterwards, there are also situations where sort of research is conducted. So naturally, in research, one of the very, very worst things happening in the globe is plagiarism. Is someone else's work being lifted out of context and then put it in as though it is one's own work. I think that is the worst form of disintegrity, or what you say, honesty at its very lowest ebb, and we need to protect that in all forms.
Thanks for sharing that, Professor Anil. My next question is around understanding what the terminology is being used in India with regards to academic integrity. Is it the same? Does it mean the same, or is it the same terminology? And what other words are used to describe academic integrity?
No, as I said, academic integrity is also a term which is used, but quite often we say honesty, truthfulness. These are all equivalent words, synonyms with academic integrity. But certainly we also talk about academic integrity as a word, and avoid plagiarism in any form, whether it is in project, in terms of research. However, we do find some of the people not following this, and we have to come in very strongly against such people by taking lethal action, so that there is a word which spreads around that this is not acceptable.
So, with your experience with academic integrity, would you say there are some challenges, and what are these challenges?
The challenges are in terms of, naturally it is very easy to copy something from somewhere and then put it up as one's own work. So it is a least resistance path. So it is quite likely that some of the students or some of the faculty members, for their promotions, for their passing the good grades, will probably indulge in such activities. And this is not uncommon in many parts of the world. And that is where we have to create a culture where people will that this is not going to last long. You may be successful at one time, but maybe second time or third time you will certainly get caught, and finally that would be disgrace both on you, your institution, your country. And when we start engaging people with all of this, gradually the things will start changing. So this is what is the real challenge, and it is not easy to come by with such large numbers. Taking care of such unethical practices not happening is not a very easy task, and there are certainly challenges, and we will have to do a lot of workshops, and I hope we are moving in the right direction.
Excellent. So you've actually touched on one of the biggest challenges being having a large cohort of students, and which requires extra work in terms of enforcing that level of integrity across the school. My next question is around the responsibility for fostering a culture of academic integrity. So the question is, who is responsible for fostering a culture of academic integrity, and how is this currently done?
So we have two regulatory bodies. One is AICTE in the technical education domain, and the other one is the Grants Commission for generic education, like in arts, commerce, science. Of course, there are other regulatory bodies in the field of medicine, architecture, pharmacy, but major role is played by UGC and AICTE. Both have what is known as for academic integrity regulations, and if one does not follow them, there will be penal action taken against them, including from the job to giving some penalty, like not giving promotions, not giving them increment, deterrent mechanisms which are in place already in form of regulations, and therefore this is a task which is being done by these two regulatory bodies. But more important is, as I said, education. People have to be oriented towards that. Awareness has to be created, and that truthfulness has to be imbibed people. And for this, we have a very innovative 3-session program for students which we are holding. So this is a freshman student when he joins or she joins a college. There are no classes in the first 3 weeks, but it is the holistic development of the student starts taking place. In life, everyone wants happiness, everyone wants money, but money is not the end goal. You have many other facets in life, and if you are honest, maybe you will get less money, but doesn't matter, you will remain happy. You will never be bothered about that. And this is all taken care of in this 3-week student induction program. Take them around to some of the best places where they learn lessons from out of the experience of others. We have sports, culture. That sports is also very important in education, because sportsmanship spirit is what is also important in academics. So maybe someone else does better than you feel envious of that. You should feel happy that one of your colleagues is doing well. I have to also put in more hard work and try to reach the same level or better than him, but not by doing wrong practices. And this 3-week student program very intensive. It's much more rigorous than the normal formal education program, which starts later. Then our faculty who are trained in, they also feel the same feelings. And unless faculty observe this, students will not observe this. In fact, students will always watch the faculty members. I may tell something and don't follow it. Students will at me, maybe not in behind me. And therefore, the authenticity of what I am saying has to be practiced first by the teachers. Then it will be caught by the students.
What are your thoughts, or how might technology support initiatives or strategies towards a culture of academic integrity?
I told you that all of this, we were doing it in the last 3-4 years very seriously. We have a booklet which is out to people in the form of PDF file. It's available on the website, so people can read. But more importantly, as I said, first-hand, one-to-one interaction between students and faculty, and between faculty and excellent researchers, as well as people who have succeeded in life without doing any things in life. They are the role models. And unless we have seminars, webinars earlier in the face-to-face mode, today during pandemic we have been conducting all of this in an online mode. Today online is the only way which we can meet people, and we have had several workshops. On one side, we train faculty in emerging like AI, IoT, machine learning, deep learning, robotics, 3D printing, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality. These are all things which every faculty should know, and only then they can teach in the class. The second one is, as I said, this universal human values workshops for our faculty members, and in turn from faculty to the students. So this is an ongoing process, and the 2 Guinness Book of World Records were set by AICTE in the last just about 2 months' time. Of course, one of them is for a 1-year exercise. We have trained 1.5 lakh, 150,000 faculty members through 1,000 5-day workshops in emerging areas of. And in this human values program, 40,000 faculty members are trained. And we had just 1 week back a course on where a facial recognition system is developed by students using artificial intelligence, done over a training of only 24 hours. We wanted to reach 10 lakh, 1 million, but it was registered by 600,000, and 1,20,000 means 120,000 students completed this facial recognition program training within a matter of 24 hours. And this is Guinness Book of World Record.
Excellent. Congratulations on that, by the way. I think you must be really proud as chairman for AICTE. And thanks for sharing your thoughts on how technology can support the initiative. Now, let's look at, you did mention earlier having that the staff who are the academics and the students, everyone's responsible for fostering a culture of academic integrity. But for academics, what is one tip you can share to help them in ensuring the security of the assessments?
In terms of assessments, unfortunately, for a long time, we have been all in the form of setting question papers which based on memory or rote learning. And that is one problem. Either students would have remembered and then brought it out, but they have not understood anything out of that. This is one possibility. The other possibility is in a position to copy from a neighbor. And since the rote learning based questions or memory based questions, their answers naturally will be 90-95% similar. And therefore, we will not even be able to judge whether a student has run or he has copied from a neighbor, by cheating. Whereas in a system of examination, which is based on Bloom's taxonomy, understanding of the subject, critical thinking, analytical ability, data ability, if the questions are of this nature, then naturally there is no one standard answer. There can be multiple answers. When student realizes that whatever he knows in that particular question, he is able to answer and still get marks or grades, then the tendency of copying itself will vanish. And secondly, we can have different types of questions for different students. They need not be same as well. And therefore, by using a evaluation system which is different from what is practiced for a long time, we have been able to engage faculty and students them from the what we say plagiarism at the lowest end is the copying in the examinations. And this has been very, very successful by having several question papers, model question papers prepared by our faculty members, posted on the website. People look at them and they design their own question paper. They share with us, and this bank is expanding day by day.
Excellent. All right. So I think we're coming to the end of today's conversation, and we're still looking, for anyone who's just joining the conversation, we're looking at fostering a culture of academic integrity in higher education. And my last question is, how can we imbibe a culture of academic integrity with students at the beginning of their studies and hopefully instill in them values that prepare them to become citizens of integrity?
I partly answered that earlier already. That is in terms of our 3-week student induction program. All these values, ethics, honesty, integrity is tried to be, infused in the minds of students by showcasing them right examples. If you are showcasing the right role model, and he achieved it despite poverty, despite having all problems that a person faced, he never compromised academic integrity, and he rose to high levels. If this is showcased to the students, naturally they pick thread from that and they will also start following that. And of course, our webinars, seminars are already there. And thirdly, wherever such things are observed, immediate penal action on such elements who are not following this academic integrity will also be a deterrent. So there are both sides. You have to have a positive side where you motivate people to be honest, to be having academic integrity, and if someone does not do it, he is going to be caught and penalized. Both sides will really play a big role in moving ahead in terms of creating an excellent ecosystem in any nation, any university, any college.
Excellent. We've come to the end of today's episode looking at fostering a culture of academic integrity, and we've heard from Professor Anil from AICTE in India. I want to say a big thank you for joining the call today and sharing all your wisdoms and years of experience. Congratulations to AICTE again for winning those Guinness Book of Records awards. And yeah, I want to say a big thank you again.
Thank you, and stay safe, free from corona, be positive in attitude. That's most important.
Perfect. Thank you so much.